The Canadian oil and gas sector, in terms of policy, what has primarily limited their production output?
The opposition of the Trudeau government to carbon-based energy, the lack of willingness to approve transmission projects to the coast for the liquefaction of Canadian natural gas. At the same time, the tacit support of the U.S. government's unwillingness to expand the Keystone Pipeline to bring much-needed Canadian heavy sour crude to the U.S. Gulf Coast refining industry that was set up to process just that type of crude. What happened in that circumstance was that both Venezuela and Mexico, as a consequence of underinvestment in their oil and gas businesses, began to produce less and less. And the refineries on the U.S. Gulf Coast, which were set up to that, wanted to buy Canadian crude, but there was opposition both in the United States and in Canada to the egress of Canadian heavy crude to the Gulf Coast refiners. So in the first instance, natural gas will now be able to be liquefied and transferred either in the Pacific through British Columbia or in the Atlantic, even if we don't have Canadian seaboard access, selling Canadian natural gas through the U.S. transmission system, through U.S. natural gas liquefaction to Europe. This is a huge, huge, huge change.
How seriously are you taking the threat from Canada's officials